we are now finally in the year of 2024. As an anime fan, as part of the community, we are going to be eating well, especially for the first half of January. We are not only getting so many different anime just within the month of January, alright? We are not only getting One Piece, Egghead Island arc, we're also getting Blue Exorcist Shimei Illuminati Saga, which has been waited for so many years. Kingdom Season 5. We're also getting Mashle second season. We're also getting Shaman King Flowers, alright? It's like a little new sequel to the actual Shaman King original series. Even Classroom Elite Season 3. It's just so many different anime that we're going to be getting this month alone, with obviously some continuations such as Frieren Beyond Journeys in the second half. Now, an anime that I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for, and I think that's really going to excel and spread out to a much wider audience this year, is without a doubt one of the greatest manhwas ever created, now in an anime adaptation form, Solo Leveling. If you're not a Solo Leveling fan or you don't know what it is, then you would think, okay, never heard of this anime. Why is it so good? Why do people talk about it so much? Well, it's considered one of the best manhwas of all time. It's up there with Tower of God, God of High School, Martial Peak, Fist of the Northern Blade, just some of those top tier manhwa when you think of that. But Solo Leveling just stands out just a little bit differently. Now, on first glance, you'll think, okay, this is probably just some other, fantastical world type of elements to the series, but it's a little different. You would think it's just an ordinary bland show, but the main character, he does something different that not a lot of MCs do after being so-called isekai'd, whether that be back into the regular life or into a new world, in which this series is about the whole entire world goes through a changing where people develop magical abilities, and they're usually known as hunters. Now, obviously, you see, kind of explain it as with quirks in My Hero Academia, where not everybody gets a quirk, but those who get a quirk, a lot of them do become heroes. Kind of same thing with Solo Leveling. Not everyone gets magical abilities, but those that get magical abilities typically become hunters, and there's a ranking class between the hunters, from the weakest being E-rank hunters to the strongest of the hunters being national level. These are the strongest hunters in the world, and they have S, A, and B, and so forth. The job of hunters is for them to go into dungeons, and obviously dungeons rank as the same way as hunters, and obviously E-rank dungeons will be the weakest dungeons. Nobody ever really gets hurt in those dungeons. It's easy grabs. And then you have S-rank dungeons, which is national emergencies. You have to get national hunters in there because it can devastate an entire country. Anyways, they go into the dungeons. Not only do they kill off all the monsters, they go ahead and take crystals, they go ahead and take loot, in which they can bring back into the real world in order to sell and make money. And hunters are notoriously known to be some of the richest people out in the world when it comes to profession. And the second goal of hunters is in order to basically be a dungeon in a certain amount of time, in order for a dungeon break to not happen. And a dungeon break, in case a dungeon break happens, it can have the monsters come out into the real world. It can, obviously hurt regular civilians. But our main character, Sung Jin Woo, notoriously known as the weakest hunter of all time, he can not only go into not anything D or C rank because he's just too weak. If he goes to E rank, he is getting injured severely. And that's the sad thing. E rank is so easy that a child who is a hunter can go in there and tear up an E rank. But Sung Jin Woo is so weak that he's always getting injured, always has to have a healer to heal him in order for him to just stay alive. He's fighting for his life in these dungeons. And on a certain day, Sung Jin Woo went into a D rank dungeon arc. Now this was with a group of people. Obviously the highest one was a C rank, and they went into a D rank dungeon arc. D rank dungeon arc is not really difficult at all. Again, it's kind of like an E rank. You just get in there, get out, grab some crystals, grab some loot, you make your money. Well, after realizing that the dungeon is not getting ready to close, they realize that they haven't defeated all the monsters, and they see a door, an opening of somewhat, and where it's a double dungeon. Now double dungeons are not common at all. It's very rare actually to have a double dungeon. And so after a vote, they all decide to go into the double dungeon. That was probably the biggest mistake out of their entire lives. Not only was this double dungeon nowhere near a D rank, that was way higher than D rank, S rank most likely. Everyone was slaughtered except for around 4 to 5 people. Sung Jin Woo was killed in that same exact dungeon, but out of being played for the game, Sung Jin Woo accepted one message that changed his entire life, making him into a player for the Solo Leveling game. in which after he woke up in the hospital, he realized that he had the ability to level up his strength beyond any known limits and use it to his opportunity and to his advantage, eventually rising up to become one of the strongest hunters in the world, if not the strongest hunter in the world. Now, that was just to give you a synopsis. Again, I'm not trying to give too much information. I want you to go ahead and watch and read this manga for yourself. It's going to be coming out very soon, January 6th, in fact. But I want to talk to you about why Solo Leveling is able to be regarded as such a high pedestal of manga. And that's because the main character, Sung Jin-woo, although he starts off as a meek, humble, kind-hearted kid, he goes through a change. After becoming a player, after gaining this extraordinarily amount of power, it starts to play with him. It starts to slowly change him. And that's because of everything he's seen. Not only did he have to fight and kill monsters on the verge of death every single time, but he started to see the true walks of life. He has started to see the true evil of hunters in this world. Not only being betrayed by hunters, left for dead by hunters that he thought he was close to. Seeing the true nature of the world and how these dungeons in fact came into play, he started to realize that this is not what it was cracked up to be. And this is what started to slowly change him. After he got more ruthless, more vicious, at the same time still showing a kind heart for those that is loved and around him, but for those who aren't, you don't want to see him on that opposite side. It can get real dangerous for you. And after being a killer, after taking lives of actual humans, not just monsters anymore, after killing actual people, after being hunted by some of the strongest hunters in the world, this is what makes Sung Jin-woo such a compelling character. Because he's not the regular MC that stays good for the entire series and he always so upbeat and so kind-hearted and so cheery and energetic. No, Sung Jin-woo is a cold-hearted assassin. Not only is he willing to put you to death if you're playing around, if you are truly here to cause danger or intent harm upon him or anyone he's close to, but he is also cold. Like, just getting close to him is very difficult, not only because of him being betrayed and backstabbed, but just because of everything he's seen so from just being a player in the game itself. And so this is what creates a compelling character within our main character, Sung Jin-woo. And because of just how his personality is, it kind of puts you on suspense for a lot of different situations, scenarios where Sung Jin-woo could be useful to the fight, to the battle that everyone needs him to. But unless it correlates with what he needs or unless it correlates with what's going to benefit him, it's a high chance he may not go or he may not show up to protect people. And that's kind of the part that really gets you close to that character and to the personality of Sung Jin-woo, because like, okay, if he shows up, he's going to save everybody. If he doesn't, people can die. And because of the writing with the story, it actually makes you believe that he's not going to show up or he's going to let people die. And in cases he does. And it can be said as sad, but it can also be shown, okay, this writing and this character development is actually insane. Like, it's actually very good. And that is what pushes Solo Leveling to the top of the charts when it comes to best manga of all time. And after years of the original story being finally finished and with the sequel out as well, it's finally getting its anime adaptation very soon. It's going to be coming this week, and I'm so prepared. I'm so hyped for it. I've been waiting for Solo Leveling to get its anime adaptation for so long, because with manga we don't get too many anime adaptations of manga. Obviously, you know Tower of God, God of High School, and some other ones, but manga doesn't get anime adaptations as often as manga does, and that's just because of how the market is. But finally, we're getting one of the best ones of all time, Solo Leveling. I'm hoping that it is done very well. From the trailers, from the teasers, it looks good. It looks very good. It looks very promising. So all we have to do is wait and find out and just be prepared. I think Solo Leveling is going to take off this year in popularity. I think it definitely can go ahead and become one of the most popular animes definitely this year. Probably on a Chainsaw Man level. I wouldn't say JJK. I feel like JJK is just... it's had 2 seasons in the movie to excel, but Solo Leveling does have the ability to get up there in popularity, and I can't wait for y'all to watch this, for everybody to enjoy it, for the story, for the characters, for the system, for the development of our main character. It's wonderful. So, if you have not read the manga Solo Leveling, be prepared. The anime is coming out soon, and go ahead and pick up the manga too. It is very, very, very good. And really quick, just want to give condolences to Seong Rakjang, also known as Duhhhh, who passed away at the age of 40. He was actually the co-creator of Solo Leveling. He was actually the artist who was known for co-creating Solo Leveling. And he passed away last year. And it's sad because too often do we not only see in the manga, the comic, the manhwa, industry where the working environment's having to get a chapter out a week, it's crazy. And even when he did take hiatuses, they were not very long. He was always giving us quality content. And so seeing the working environment, what it did to his mental health, what it did to his physical health, it's kind of sad, you know. But he did bless us with this amazing anime and manga. I'm so sad that he wasn't able to see his anime come to completion, but let's all enjoy this for him. All right, and with that, I hope y'all have a blessed one.